Check, check. Hey, hey. We are out here, brisk, cold morning in Sunnyland, Florida, for the inaugural start of Paramotor STOL Classics. To my left, we have 20 of the world's top competitors from around the world. Great Britain represented. We've got Italy in the house, Canada. We got folks as far as Utah, and it is getting loud. The motors are started, but we're going to start with the Trike division. Now, if you don't know what STOL stands for, it is short takeoff and landing. I'm Reese Dockhand. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you are in the world. It's early here in Florida. Brisk, about 60 degrees. Most of the world's freezing, but we are bundled up because we're not used to this cold. So the competitors are taking the line. Like I said, we're starting with Trike. We got James Sutherland. We are going to be followed up with Bobby Sutherland on the air with you, taking you through the action. Myself will be around floating, trying to paint the picture. We've got all the competitors from so many nationalities, so many walks of life. Venezuela's in the house. And, yeah, we have the story to tell. And the story is who can take off the shortest and land the shortest. Now, that distance is measured by a line. And the distance from takeoff is when the wheel or the foot of the pilot, because we have wheel launch and foot launch, leaves the ground last. So if you take off and you touch down again, that is counted at your furthest forward progression. And then on landing, we have that line again, as we say. It's the great equalizer. You have to land on or after the line. Today is a no-wind condition, and the grass is wet, so we're going to see some slipping and sliding out there. The goal is to stop, come to a complete stop, and that is where you'll be marked for the Trikes. It's your furthest main gear. That is the rear wheels of the Trike. We hear James Sutherland getting his motor set up. Our live stream technicians are in the booth getting it ready to give you a solid video. Wings are being laid up. We got about 5 minutes to the first takeoff. We hope you're having a great morning wherever you are in the world, drinking some coffee or enjoying your English tea. Got a cuppa out there. We got Adrian getting in the right mindset, talking with our friends from One Up. Judson Graham's in the house. You want to come over and hang out? You're the second foot launch pilot that will be taking the field after Trike. It's the early morning. We got Judson Graham, my friend, and
my man.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
It's great out here. Nice and damp.
It's wet. A lot of condensation in the air. What's that going to do for the performance of the wing?
Well, you know, wings get wet, they get heavy, so they're going to be a little slower to get up in the air, a little easier to stall. You know, we got some tricks up our sleeves to keep the wings up in the air. You know, we can. Oh, we got to look up at the camera.
No, well, yeah, now we're on camera.
Yeah. You know, you got to take that into account. Your wing's going to take off a little slower, inflate a little slower, and it's, you know, if you pull too much brake, it's going to come back down.
Definitely going to come in parachute.
So I'm going to probably account for that by letting my trimmers out a little bit. I'm probably going to run a little faster, get a little more wind.
A lot of people don't know that you can outpace the power of the motor. So just running faster to get that glider up to a flying speed, right? Because it's wanting to build that airspeed. And then just keep running so you feel confident that this wing's going to lift you up and just rock and roll, rip it.
The key here is going to be having a lot of speed from the start, and once you know you have a solid wing, committing and not making a second guess. I think we'll see a lot of second guesses and wings falling back down. But, you know, the other thing is we got the density altitude of sea level, so yeah. Yeah,
it's got the prop is real efficient. The wing should be grabby in the air, but it's got to do, so you really don't want to blow any launches. The setup is vital. It's very important that you set up without dragging it through the dew.
Yeah, that is another factor. You know, as the wing gets more wet, as you take more attempts for taking off, it's going to be more challenging the next launches, and you could end up with a wing that's never going to come up and, you know, be DQ'd in this round. So we're going to try to really hit it on the first run and take off.
Absolutely. You see our live stream cam getting ready. Brennan's walking around. You got a little clip of Brennan. What's up? Brennan's getting the angles. They got the competitors getting their motors ready right now. Brennan's live and on air in the pits, seeing the competitors, having a lot of fun. Who's this? We got Bobby Sutherland. Why don't you take a seat, Bobby? Oh, I don't know. I do have to leave. This is Bobby Sutherland, my man. Just got down from Africa. Set up the stream. We set it up from 11 p.m. We got off a plane, drove here to 1 a.m. We were up last night. The last bit about the performance characteristics of the day that we're going to see that I wanted to add, and I forgot. Jeez, I wanted to add something that was important. Judson, good luck out there. You're in the second spot, 1 foot behind Kyle Mooney.
For first.
And we are loving to see the camaraderie, and the pilots are so stoked for this. Bobby, thank you so much for being here. I'll hand it over to you. You guys have a great day. We'll see you later.
All right, Bobby.
What's up, Judson?
How are you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're James' brother, right?
I am not. I'm not related to James at all, but
Oh.
we do joke that he is my father.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it. You kind of have, yeah.
It, it runs in the Scottish heritage, I guess.
I'm a little Scottish myself.
So what do you had a great performance I heard yesterday. I saw a little bit on the YouTube. How you feeling about the first contest here in the US?
Oh, it's just good to be out here. We got 2 lines banging on the field, and I'm pumped to be out getting some sports. I think it's an interesting dynamic. 1 second. I think it's an interesting dynamic. We have a lot of pilots here who do a lot of freestyle, and they're really good. And in Europe, that's not really scored. So this is a competition that's going to allow the pilots to who are more freestyle, land on a point, take off short, to really strut their stuff out here in the U.S. So
Sure.
I'm gonna go get ready.
All right, man. Good luck. Have fun out there.
Bobby, can I borrow your phone to show up the list? The list is going to be of the competitor sheet and then a little bit about them.
Oh, here, I got to unlock that for you. So we got the first guys heading up to the line. Trike's setting up out there. We got to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors out here as well. So many people helping put on the Paramotor STOL Classic. Limitless, Aviator, Nomad Flyer, Ozone, One Up, Only Butt Fans, Gaggle, Fly Products, Give Funky Media, Liberty, Arnest, Ozone, Safaria.
Our title sponsor is Viterazzi.
Yeah, don't forget about those title sponsors, Viterazzi, Limitless, Air Italy.
Sky Sports.
Thank you all for helping us out here.
Sky Sports Egypt. So the way that it works.
All right, looks like we've got James Sutherland, Mr. Charlie Soap out there setting up. Looks like he is on the right runway, which I'm not sure if that'll be 1 or 2 if you're reading left to right or right to left. No relation to James, but he's been flying since 2016. Trained under Ross Kennedy, Brian Goff. Nice inflation of the wing, and he's off the ground. See if we can get a score from the judges on that one. I heard 8.6, so that'd be an 86 foot takeoff. Nice solid start for James. Gonna get us in a nice pattern, come back down, so you can get that short landing. He's an Aviator brand ambassador for the 2022 and 23 season. Project Airtime representative. I know he's always helping out those veterans, getting some incredible folks into the skies, sharing the passion we all have out here. Here he comes in. Right on the line. What a beautiful. Uses those feet to come to a complete stop. Great guinea pig out. Great way to start the day for James. I think that was a 52. Kind of missed the call there. Now it looks like on the left runway we have Nick Fazekas. He started flying in 2000, so he's been flying for 24 years for those that aren't so good at the mathematics. He's recently just added the trike this year, so wing is nicely inflated. Front wheel off the ground, and he's up. Going for the right pattern. What's up, Byler? 105 on that takeoff. Come on, dog. Can't just come in and make those obscene gestures and not sit down and say, what's up? What's happening? Pop this unit on your head. Oh, yeah.
That's dangerous.
It's dangerous. The one, the only Byler got the Yoda mug going this morning. How's that coffee tasting?
It's pretty fresh.
Pretty fresh.
I literally just woke up.
I don't know. I haven't gone to sleep in like 3 days, I feel like. So
I don't know what all these silly people are doing this early.
Did you compete yesterday?
I did not, no, dude.
I'm
a casual, bro.
Oh, nice. You're just here for
I'm
the
just
visual?
I'm just a chill guy, you
just
know?
cash. All right, here comes Nick in for his landing. Now, he's got different tires. I wonder if that makes a difference. A little more grip. Nice, solid.
High speed, low drag.
We get the score coming in here. 76 for Nick. Some solid scores coming from these trikes the first thing in the morning. It's tough being the guinea pig out there, isn't it?
Dude.
So how you been, man? I haven't seen you in since Bad Apples, maybe?
I know you got stuck in Africa, dude.
Oh, yeah, we could talk all day about that. Yeah, don't go to Africa or Angola and get stuck. They do not communicate at their airports. It's not fun. All right, next up in the line looks like Guido Arbelola. Oh, my name pronunciation is not ideal. Mr. Sutherland, what's up?
Hey, baby.
Cappy Simon on the next one. How we doing? Well, you sit down and tell me how your run went, bud. Dad. Pops.
Could have been better.
Could have been better.
Could have been better.
I did see the clip from yesterday after we were chatting last night, and man, are you a foot launch or a trike foot launch? What's going on?
This morning though, I took off with one trim all the way in and one trim out.
Well, you are first one off the dock, so.
And then I came in and jammed my gas, so I ruined the takeoff and I ruined the landing. So we'll see what happens.
But you get how many? You get? You gotta help me out with the rules. So you get
I think
3
it's
shots.
Just one today.
Just one today.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
It's a
think so.
timing weather issue.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get to and add them together. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it was fun. This has been a good weekend.
It's pretty sweet to see the competitive side of paramotor come to the States, eh?
Yeah, I didn't know what competitive paramotoring was going to be like. I like flying, so.
What are you looking forward to the most this week?
This has been cool. I never get to fly in wind, and so we're doing short takeoffs and landings, and I don't get to do that back home. So it's really pretty cool.
Are you looking forward to any of the other tasks coming up?
The long distance ones, only because
the navigation, I guess.
Yeah, the trikes are shorter and less efficient than the rest of them. So if I can place pretty good, I'll be happy.
It seems like you've been doing pretty good at Lake Wales practicing.
Giving it hell. Doing the best I can.
Holding that leaderboard down. So, what do you expect out of these other trikes? Who's to look out for?
Hopefully some competition. The one that I was taking off with, I think was the one I was worried about.
Was Nick?
Yep. I don't know how he did. I don't know how did I do? Do you know?
I did, but numbers go in and out. So I think you had an 80 on the landing.
Oh, it's horrible.
Something. Yeah.
It's okay.
Not as good as yesterday, James.
Not as good as yesterday.
Right.
I made the two mistakes that I could have made.
It's early.
It's early.
Get another cup of coffee. Hopefully get another shot. We'll see what happens.
I'm getting out of here.
So good to see you, man.
It's good to see you, too.
All right, next up we got Guido and Cappy heading to the lines. Nick, if you're out there, come join me. I want to hear about your fly out there, how your short takeoff and landing went. There he is. Chip or Nick? Sorry, this way. Is it Chip or Nick?
Nick.
Nick, okay, cool. How'd it go for you out there?
Did okay. I didn't have the wing laid out exactly what I wanted. I went to start the motor and blew the wing back a little bit, so.
So just not a great inflation?
Yeah. It took me a little longer to inflate than I wanted, but.
Here we got Guido taking off. Wheels up. That looked like a nice one.
Yeah,
that
nice
might be our shortest takeoff so far. What adjustments do you want to make for your next attempt?
I wish I had a little bit of wind.
A little bit of wind. That was an 8.5 there for Guido. Looks like the Trikes are actually doing pretty close, pretty similar takeoffs here. Is there any other tasks this week that you're looking forward to in the STOL comp?
Navigation.
Navigation?
Navigation.
What about the bowling?
Oh, yeah, bowling. And
Yeah.
I've only been 2 months on the Trike, so I'm just really, I've gone from foot launch after years of that to Trikes, is learning the intricacies of the Trike.
Sure. You've been flying since 2000, I think I saw, and just started the Trike this year.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest adjustment you've had to do from going from foot launch to Trike?
Just the landing distance.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think you'll be sticking with the Trike more, or?
I hurt my back, so yeah, I'm staying more to the Trike.
Nice.
So I own a bunch of foot launch machines, so I do enjoy foot launch when the wind's up. But
yeah. Well, great. Well, thanks for coming out. Thanks for joining me, and good luck out there, man.
yeah, thank you.
All right, looks like Guido coming in for his landing, getting a nice little wheelie out there. That was a scratch, unfortunately, coming down just before the line, I would assume. And next up on the Trike, second lane, we've got Cappy Simon or Simone. Sorry for butchering names out there, but come say hello and I will fix the butchering. Comes the inflation for Cappy. Cappy's a Hungarian-American airline pilot, flies a 787 when he's not having fun at the STOL comps. Sitting down here with Matt from Aviator. How we doing, Matt?
Doing good, doing good.
Beautiful seeing all these people come together for this contest,
it's pretty
right?
amazing, pretty amazing. It's a nice light wind morning, a little bit of a crosswind. Very damp.
Very damp.
Yeah.
So which should make it pretty interesting for the foot launch, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting morning. The strikes are doing pretty well.
Yeah, they are. They all have very similar scores so far. One scratch on the landing.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful landing there. Skirt, skirt.
Yeah, that was a great landing.
Got to use the feet to come to that complete stop. I think that was probably our best landing as far as distance. 6.7 on that one. Beautiful landing.
Yeah, very good.
I think that wraps up the 4 Trikes that we have.
Looks like the foot launch pilots are starting to set up.
Yeah. So I believe we go to the top, which is our leader, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle.
Looks like Kyle Mooney.
Kyle Mooney had a stellar day of the first day of U.S. competition yesterday, from what I understand.
Yeah, he's at the top of the leaderboard right now, right?
Everybody's looking up to Kyle. That's right. He is his teams he's got here is BGD, One Up, Fly Products USA. We know he's an instructor down at One Up, teaching people to get up in the sky in the Trikes. He's been flying for over 12 years, instructing for 7. He taught himself how to fly, and now he's sharing that with everybody else by being an instructor down here in Lake Wales.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, 12 years, that's a long time flying.
It's a long time. And setting up next to him is our second place guy, Judson Graham. You guys might know him from the YouTubes. He's
Judson.
also an aviator student.
Actually, Judson is not an aviator student. He trained with Tucker and that crew up there in New Jersey. I think almost immediately after he trained, he came down to intern with us at Aviator.
I know he's a big part of the aviator family, and
He is, yeah, absolutely.
definitely made an impact there.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like Kyle doing a run up here. Looks like the wind is coming in just a little bit across. But pretty calm morning.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Solid inflation
great
off
landing.
the ground
Great.
quick.
Great takeoff.
3-0 on that takeoff.
Get ready.
3-0.
Eric, like Jericho, but Erico.
Erico, we need you to
Can you
start
call
gearing
up
up.
the stage?
Erico, start gearing up. And Luigi, you're following after him.
Just got word that Erico needs to report to the staging area to get ready. Erico, if you're out there, we need you.
Looks like Kyle's on a Factory R from Viterazzi, one of our title sponsors. He's on a Fly Products frame and a BGD wing.
Oh.
I believe that was a scratch just before the line. Really
Right on the line.
trying to pull the brakes just to get past it, but
Yeah.
unfortunately just touching down. really trying to put that pressure on Judson and the rest of the gang.
Yeah, if that wasn't a scratch, it was pretty great, but it looked like he was just in front of the line there.
Up next in the next lane is Judson. Just sat down Judson a moment ago. He's flying for Ozone. He's a former full-time PPG instructor, as we mentioned earlier, and flying on a Moster EFI on a limitless frame and I believe a Viper XC, but there is a question mark there.
Outstanding videographer. He's got a YouTube channel and does some pretty amazing content.
If you fly and you haven't seen his videos, you're messing up.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, Judson's got all kinds of skills, a lot of freestyle skills. He's been traveling the world on his paramotor and documenting it, and he's a beautiful cinematographer and keeps everybody entertained on the internet. And is quite in the zone, if you will, for this contest. I know that being the first time it's here in the States and being, such a well-known pilot, it definitely puts a little bit of extra pressure on you. But
yeah, it's pretty amazing that we're finally bringing competition here to the States. It's been a long time coming. They've been doing it in Europe for many years now, and it's great to see it here.
It's fantastic. I love it. Yeah, I've been doing contests on my other passions for a long time, and it's really cool to see this in this industry. Nice inflation off the ground. Solid takeoff from Judson.
Very nice.
EFI sounds good.
Finally got a little bit of sun this morning. Sun finally came up, warming us up.
That main cam's starting to get kind of a little blown out.
The one that's on us?
Yeah.
Copy that. That was a 39 for Judson on that takeoff.
Here he comes in for his landing. Nice and low. He's got a lot of brake pressure already. Oh. It's like people are pushing pretty hard this morning.
Oh, yeah, they don't like to see that. Hopefully the gear and pilot are okay. Looks like it's...
Yeah, it looks like it was just a little slip.
A little slippy slip. Slippery when wet out there.
Yeah.
Definitely a factor this morning is the wet grass from the dew.
Mm-hmm. Do have a little bit of sun coming up, so maybe that'll help dry it out.
Keep the thermals away, though, please. Erico and Luigi are our next two pilots in the hole. We've got Mariah and Jillian Wintermute. You guys can start grabbing your gear and firing up. Erico is flying for Sky Sports Egypt. Man, that is a flight that is on my bucket list.
Yeah, mine too. I would love to be over there, flying over the pyramids.
Whew. As soon as I saw those videos, I was like, "Yep, that's got to happen."
I mean, it's kind of a bucket list just to go see the stuff over there, but let alone fly over it. That'd be amazing.
100%. Looks like Erico's a Brazilian living in the USA. His journey in paramotor began in 2012 and in 2014. He founded Bravo Fly Paramotor Trike. And in 2015, he began his training as an APPI PPG instructor.
So many years of experience flying paramotors here.
Yeah. Crazy there's that many years of experience, and this is our first competition, but it is great to see.
Yeah.
He's flying on a Moster 185 on a SkyMax paramotor frame. And his hometown is Brazil. I've heard so much Portuguese over the last week being in Africa that I could probably have a conversation with him.
It's amazing to see all the support from all the other countries coming in to compete in the States too.
It is great. Hopefully this just continues to grow, and I know Reese has got all kinds of plans. The whole gang from STOL Classics has got all kinds of plans for 2025, and hopefully we'll have a few stops on the tour, if you will, and get more pilots from all over the world and get everybody excited and pumped on these events.
Yeah, it's this is just the beginning, right? This is the very first competition in the United States, and hopefully many more to come.
100%.
Been some great suggestions about having like a circuit, going around this different places in the United States, and like having qualifiers and then building up to a main event like this.
The championships.
Championship. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think Reese has mentioned possibly having some mini comps at some of the fly-ins that the big fly-ins across the nation. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Stoll is it's so easy to do on your home field, right? All you need is to draw a line on the field and have somebody measure how far it takes for you to take off and land.
Can of spray paint and an iPhone. It's all you need. It is interesting though. I did some practicing at home at the airport I've been flying at, and it's amazing how much concentration can really take away your skill set.
Right.
Like you try to touch that spot landing, and it's like, oh yeah, I got to pull brakes and land.
So and as we've seen this morning, that it's not a regular landing, right? That you almost have the wing in a stall as you're coming in because you want to slow yourself down to stop as soon as you can. So it's a different skill set.
And every day the conditions are so different, whether you've got wind or other pilots or whatever's going on. So
Your cam's starting to get kind of blown out again.
looks like Luigi's gonna hit us first. He is ready to go. He is a Air Italy paramotor pilot.
Nice quick takeoff.
A little sidestep it looked like from my angle.
I think we got a little bit of a crosswind this morning, so the pilots are struggling with that a little bit, trying to get that wing up nice and level.
He got a 5.9 on that takeoff for the Italian boy running to his middle age. That's what his bio says. I'm just reading here.
Running to his middle age.
He's on a Corsair Black Devil. That is a motor that I am not familiar with, but I am a newbie, so I don't know anything. And on an Air Italy frame, an APCO F3 wing, and his hometown is Italy.
Italy.
Another world international competitor. Great to see.
Excellent.
The sun is popping. Vibes are high. It's
starting to get blown out again.
Making the turn towards landing here.
Stabilizing that wing, coming down. Says, I'm going to come around and try again. Didn't like something there on that approach. Or
I think he was lined up in the wrong spot. Now he's just lining up towards the line here.
Got to find that line between the flags here. Oh, that was beautiful.
Very nice.
Beautiful landing there. 1-4 on that landing. Woo! Setting the bar high.
Outstanding. Is that our first non-scratch with the foot launch pilots?
I believe so. First score on the board.
Excellent.
Put him on the board, as they would say in baseball.
Much better, thanks.
All right, so this would be Erico. We hyped him up enough. We heard the info. Oh, no.
Oh, can't get the wing up.
I'm not 100% on the rules, but I'm not sure if he gets another shot. He will get another shot. Kyle's giving me the head nod. Copy.
He can walk back and reset as long as he doesn't go behind the line.
I like that.
Kind of an interesting challenge to get the wing set up without stepping behind the line.
Yeah, and he's, it does eat up some time, which definitely can affect some of the other pilots. Next up in the hole, we've got Mariah and Jillian. You guys should be gearing up if you're not already. After that, it'll be Scott Julius and Mike Carlson. Start thinking about gearing up.
We're also told if you see the checkered flag on the landing, that means it was a non-scratch.
Hey Drew, will you hit the record button on the it's like the bottom middle? Just name the file and then hit record.
Got it.
Like we're going to move the windsock out to the field, get some light winds, give these pilots a little better visual of what they're dealing with in these elements. Hey, Brooke, you want to come join me for a second? Like, I got no choice now. You called me out. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
There you go. Pop this unit on. Hit this button here. Got Brooke Sheffield joining me now. How are you feeling being out here at the first contest in the U.S.?
Man, I just feel lucky to be here. Honestly, there's so many great pilots, and
Some of which you've taught and trained, right?
I don't know if I've had a little bit of training with some people here. I did a tandem instruction with Jillian, and I've worked with a lot of the folks here, and some of them have trained me. And so yeah, just a great group of pilots, new people I haven't met. So excited to see people from around the world, and in general. And I don't really consider myself much of a competitor, but
But you like to see your friends and hang out.
well, the one reason I even started instructing was just to become a better pilot in the first place. And by coming out here and seeing these guys and seeing different techniques and watching people push the envelope of how they use their equipment just allows me to learn more. So
For sure.
it's ultimately just an awesome learning experience for me.
Yeah, it's great. It's I was telling Matt, it's amazing how much concentrating on a task can really affect your skills at times.
Yeah, I mean, you're using techniques that you don't usually use in your typical flying, like the approaching and stall deep in the brakes, which is something you typically don't do as much. So it really tests your ability to use your knowledge and your skills in a new way, which, again, just makes you a better pilot.
100%. And as we saw earlier, some of the best pilots in the nation, the elements are a little struggle. They tend to struggle in these elements. Just a lot of pressure out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it feels like a kid in like a high school football game. I'm like, everybody's looking at me.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's not a sound you want to hear.
So, yeah, I would say after watching the first few things happening this morning,
What adjustments would you make?
I'm honestly just going to go out there and do a forward launch that I do every morning. I'm not going to really do much adjustment because what I'm seeing is people are making adjustments to kind of beat the numbers, and it seems like over 50% of those attempts are yielding not the greatest results.
Yeah.
So my main goal is to be safe and to just complete the task more than anything on my feet.
It's smart. I mean, it's smart. You do have a disadvantage going first. So the guinea pigs out there who were slipping are definitely showing the pilots that are later down on the list, some things you can do to step back and just get a score on the board.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that are going first are ranked number one. So, and there's an argument that they're the most skilled at some point, or at least in the rankings. So usually those guys don't have anything working against them because they're already so great. But in this case, it does allow some of us lower in the bracket or lower in the ranking to kind of see the results, see what they're doing, and then we can adjust our game plans as we go forward.
Yeah, that's a great game plan to go into this contest with. I think now on the line we've got Jillian setting up on the far runway, and I believe this is Scott Julius here closest to us. Jillian did have one launch that didn't go as great, and so she is reset now.
Actually, I think that's Mo setting up on this side.
That's Mo.
Yeah, it's Mo.
Oh, Eric, is that Erico? Erico Mo?
Yep, that's Mo.
Okay, so he's on his third attempt then, I believe. As long as he's... Nope. First attempt, Mo. Okay. Thanks to the crowd all helping us out here.
Yeah.
A lot of volunteers, a lot of people coming together to make this event happen. So many sponsors, man. It's great to see all these companies supporting the industry and just supporting this event.
Yeah, I mean, it is the first of its kind, essentially, in the U.S., so... it's awesome just to be a part of the beginnings of something here in the U.S. I know a lot of pilots have wanted to see a competitive type of competition or circuit begin. Look at Jillian. She's so smooth.
She's got definitely one of the best leanbacks in the game.
She does.
I trained with her at Aviator last year, and she gets off the ground so fast. It's incredible.
I mean, technique is everything.
She is a limitless and ozone pilot. She's been flying paramotor since 2021. Of course, everybody knows she's an instructor. She's an instructor at Aviator. We also need Scott Julius and Mike Carlson to start gearing up, setting up towards the line as Jillian makes her approach back in for her short landing.
I think he's telling me to get ready.
No, I think you're good. You got a little bit of time.
Okay, cool.
You got some time. Here's the list here. Scott, Mike, Adrian, Kaylee, Brooke.
Okay, yeah.
A few pilots.
Excellent. All right, here comes Jillian in for her landing. This is what I've been watching on everybody is what's your technique? Deep in the brakes or just a normal landing?
She's on the Moster now. Nice landing, gets a score on the board.
Hey, being on your feet is winning right now.
That's right. We're going to wait for... That's a nice score of a 28 for Jillian. Getting on the board, as Brooke said, is really a key element right now.
Yeah.
Jillian's flying on a limitless frame and on that Ozone Viper XC16. We have been corrected, Brooke. This is not the first contest in the U.S., but it's the first one in a long time.
In like 20 years.
And most of these pilots have been flying for less than 20 years, so.
It is the first STOL competition, I believe. So there's a first in here.
Yeah. First for me, first for you, first for most of these pilots, so. Looks like Mo is doing his run-up. This is his first attempt. Mo trained in 2016, having a tough inflation there. But he will be able to reset and give it another shot.
I mean, yeah, these conditions are the exact opposite of what we had yesterday. Yesterday we had a strong headwind. We've got almost no wind or even a crosswind this morning. So these pilots are having to make on-the-fly adjustments for the conditions, which really shows skill level to be able to perform in all varieties of conditions.
Yeah, it's definitely a changing. Always, what's the big word? Dynamic.
It's dynamic.
It's dynamic out there.
I also think we're here in Florida. Florida's known for having a wind for most of our flying, and it's interesting to see pilots from around the country. Their home LZs, they either are no wind type LZs or they're quite windy. And so you see like a big variety of type of skill sets showing up. So for instance, I don't do reverses where I live because we don't have very much wind. So yesterday, while I'm comfortable, I'm not in my true comfort zone. But
yeah, same for me. I hardly ever do reverses because I feel like if it's windy enough to do reverse, I shouldn't be flying.
Exactly.
And I'm landlocked, so I'm not doing any beach flying. So it's definitely a skill that I would definitely have to refine since training probably. All right, it sounds like you're being paged, so you're in the hole. Good luck out there, Brooke. All right, looks like Mo is going to give another shot here on his Limitless with a Moster. See if you can get that Viper XC20 nice and inflated and going. We got the main man joining me on the mic. Reese, how we doing?
Hey, thanks, guys. It's good to be here, Brooke. There you just saw a blown launch from Mo from the Utah.
Run.
Got to get those legs moving. He's like 6'4". He can create 15 miles an hour wind with one step, right?
I wish I could do that.
I just want to, officially.
You came all the way out from Utah as well.
Yeah, with Judson Graham all the way out front, representing the west of the U.S. and the best of the U.S. I would say.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it with that scratch on landing from Judson. I mean, you just watched your competitor of 1 foot scratch on landing. Why push it that hard? You got to get points on the board like we saw Jillian do. This is great piloting, from the best, the top, the STOL queen. But yeah, thank you, Bobby, for setting up this beautiful live stream. Thank you for the people at home watching this at such an early, presumable time. And thank you to the sponsors. Look at this.
Look at the shirt. How sweet is this?
This setup from Nomad Flyers right here with our title sponsors at the top, Viterazzi, Limitless, Air Italy, and Sky Sports Egypt. Shout out to Nomad Flyer getting us some nice threads for the inaugural Paramotor STOL Classics. I can't wait to wear this. And, it's great sun protecting, too.
Pop it on. Pop it on.
Take it off. Take it off.
Top tarps on.
Actually, this one is for my wife. I got this one for her. She's watching the kids at home so that we can come out here and play with our friends. So shout out to my loving wife, Leah Dockhand, back at home with Olivia and Madeline. Daddy misses you guys. We're working our hearts out to make STOL just an absolute blast to have fun with your friends, a reason to go out and get your skills refined.
It's great. Wish the fam was here for sure. Miss the girls.
We see Mo getting reset on the line.
Yeah, Mo's our only butt fans pilot.
That's right. Kelly in the house doing some sublimating on the safety vest for us, and Straight Homie out there teaching new students at Aviator Paramotor. He just recently got tandem certified from One Up, so he's on ways to do great things in the world of paramotoring.
And his comms are the best.
I hate you. I want them so bad.
They're so good, man.
They look just like this. No wires. My comms on my paramotor is such a nightmare setup. Like wires all over the place.
How you have not put a wire into your prop yet? I do not know.
A lot
Zip
of
ties,
pre-flight
baby.
and zip ties. Yeah, pre-flight.
Pre-flight. I like that.
So yeah, shout out to my boy Kelly at Only Butt Fans, representing, doing so much for the sport, bringing his FPV soldering skills to decase a Cena and give you comms in the air. If you ever had the opportunity to do mesh comms and talk with your friends in flight, it's insane. Here we go. Mo's taking the line, getting ready, making sure not to go behind the line and scratch on his takeoff.
Yeah, I'd say the only thing that's better than flying with your friends is talking to your friends while you're flying with them. And that's definitely what Only Butt Fans does. He gave himself an extra couple feet on that start run, which really helped give those A's just popped right up for him, get that inflation.
That is what I was talking about. He's 6'4".
That was a 5.2 on that takeoff.
52. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, points on the board, right? 2 blown launches, really charged it, almost blipped the throttle. Now, I did speak with him off camera, and he said that he usually flies right-hand throttle, and the left-hand throttle is kind of new to him. He didn't want to make excuses. It is borrowed equipment from Limitless Paramotor. Shout out to them to get him set up from the West. Didn't want to fly with his motor, so Limitless came out and supported him with that, but they didn't get the time to switch to the right-hand throttle, and you saw right on takeoff his posture was pointing to the ground, blipped the throttle, almost pushed him to the ground, but he used those giant giraffe legs and kept himself alive.
Those giant giraffe legs. Let's see if those giant giraffe legs help him on this landing. It is still pretty wet out there. The sun is popping, but we've seen a few of the early pilots slipping, so he had the advantage of seeing that, like we've been talking about, and see what adjustments he makes in order to stomp this landing.
Right over the fence line, pulling brakes, flaring. Oh, it stalled. And did he go to a knee? Leah Catullo's excited about it. There's a waving checker flag over the line, and that point will be scored, it looks like.
So you can touch a knee down or no.
So the rules are being developed currently. There is a rule book, but we're out here to promote the sport and just hype up the stoke of competition flying. So there are official rules.
That was a 17 on that landing?
17 landing. As you saw, he went full brakes and just stalled that wing, and he had to come in and use those giant giraffe legs one more time to spring him up into the air again.
And maybe if that knee touched down, but it was so long, it doesn't even matter. It's like a tripod. I believe it's Scott that's set up on that.
Yeah, Scott Julius from Buffalo, New York. Shout out to all the New York paramotor pilots out there. They do some wild stuff. They do like a drift pit. So drift cars, they fly their paramotors.
I have seen that.
It is insane.
He flies out there with Keenan, one of the guys that I trained with.
And, of course, our homie Neil from Aviator, the mechanic there. That's his hometown. So that's his home crew. I know he's back at home.
I was able to fly up there this year. Man, you guys got to go up there and fly. It is beautiful, especially if Lake Erie's calm. It's like you're on another planet. It is so beautiful up there.
Nice. And again, I just want to give a huge shout out to Neil. We love you. We miss you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Take the time and
I need you to come look at my motor.
Breathe.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Here we go. We've got Scott Julius. He did. I noticed he landed fast yesterday, and he landed trimmed out. And I was like, why are you coming in so hot? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to change the trim settings. I'm going to trim in on this one. And his score from the first one to the second one was a huge improvement.
Yeah, that's great. Coming in trim, seems
trimmed
absolutely
out.
crazy. Looks like he started flying in 2018. He has attended Skyfield Flight Works and trained under Andrew Solano. John Easley flies somewhere between 125 and 175 hours a year. That is quite a bit. So he has got lots of time in the sky. Hopefully he's been using some of that time to practice for today's contest.
A recent backstory is he had a motor out, and right before a seawall, instead of ditching it in the water, chose to hit a seawall. His wing wrapped around a fence, and he was dangling there until people could pull him out of the freezing water. This was weeks before the competition. He's coming off a recent injury, and he and Neil swapped this motor to a brand new Viterazzi Moster 185 to make sure he could safely fly and compete.
That's great. Neil always keeping people's motors healthy and keeping them out in the sky.
There we go. No wind launch. Still looking for that fog. Getting that motor ran up. Here we go. Get those A's back. Rocket ship. Let's go, Spider. Ozone Spider defying gravity off into the air. Great takeoff on his first go around. Scott Julius giving us a show.
There's a nice score of a 58 on that takeoff.
Beautiful, beautiful takeoff. I mean, that Ozone Spider just rips through the sky. The inflation on a Spider is just absolute cheat codes.
Cheat codes.
Shout out to our partner sponsor, Ozone, for being out here. Bass on the line with the score sheet in her hand, doing 4 jobs at once. She's our project manager for Paramotor STOL Classics. Couldn't do it without these ladies. Shout out to the women in our sport with Aurora PPG coming in as our first sponsor. Here comes Scott Julius, short final.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, we got the right on the
just
line.
Past the line.
I'm telling you what, he came out swinging on this competition.
Waiting for the score from the judges.
Scott Julius is like real. Don't sleep on Scott Julius.
And he flies with drift cars.
Yeah, that's right, the drift pit. 1.6.16 on his performance, and with that takeoff and landing, that's going to move him way up on the leaderboards.
It's got to be a little bit different than flying with drift cars, trying to do a stole comp.
I mean, precision is precision.
This looks like Mike Carlson doing his run up here.
Now, fuel is important. You need a minimum of 1 liter of fuel, and that weight is going to make a big difference on takeoff. Here he goes, arm stretched back, running. Looks like another Ozone Spider, potentially.
He's on a factory
was that
R.
quick? And that factory R is giving him the power, you know it. You know, you got to get in the seat quick, but you don't want to get in before it's fully flying and come back down. That was a perfect timed inflation.
5-0 on that takeoff.
50 is going to be good. That's competitive. I think Scott was at 57, but let's see how he does on landing.
He's on a MacFly frame. It says Sirocco, but...
It's a Sirocco.
Spider. It is a Spider. I thought it looked like a Spider.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Spiders are really competitive wing, especially in STOL. They got a lot of fabric, but they are super light.
He's out of Stuart, Florida, so...
Not too far away. Oh, my gosh. What kind of pattern is this? A motor out, crosswind landing, and safe landing on the ground. Good job.
Yeah, way to handle what's going on out there.
That's what we're talking about. That's why STOL is so important, because if you could put it down anywhere, you're a safe pilot. And that's exactly what we just saw. So what we're training is real-life skill building. So short takeoff and landing is not just a game. When you fly, you choose to fly. What goes up must come down. And so a balloon pilot once told me, takeoff is optional, landing is mandatory. So what we just saw is a pilot execute a perfect motor off landing and safely walk away and live to fly another day. So great landing, Mike Carlson. Got Adrian from the UK setting up his Viper XC, cheating a little to the right side. Maybe you see some wind, a little puff of wind. And we got Brooke with the BGD and 1UP sponsorship coming out here to showcase his skills on the Parajet Mav Max frame with a Viterazzi Factory R. Incredible to see all our friends out here having a great time. And again, if you're watching the stream, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. We want to see all the comments in the chat. We're monitoring it. Also, the pilots, if you can go to YouTube and share this stream currently, if you have your phone, go to Paramotor STOL Classics on YouTube, share the link, get it on to your friends. We're out here busting our butts, making you guys try to get famous. We got some call signs like Hollywood. I mean, Justin Graham looks like Goose.
Yeah, the flight suits are definitely on par this morning. I'm very jealous. I still have yet to buy one of those, but you know, I gotta check out the scene, see what everybody's got, and then come up with my own little steez.
Justin's backstory on his flight suit, he I think traded it during Burning Man. Like, there's a whole backstory to this flight suit, but I want him to sing "Great Balls of Fire" behind a piano. If he can make that happen. You shook my nerves and you rattled my brain. No.
Talk about it?
Yeah, talk about it. Come on with it.
The story behind the flight suit.
Oh.
Judson's back, baby.
I'm back, baby. It's challenging out here. Kyle and I both DQ'd on our landing.
Yeah, tough conditions out there, huh?
Yeah, real tricky.
You just saw All right before this takeoff, you just saw your competitor Kyle by 1 foot below the landing, and you still pushed it that hard. You could have put a point on the board, but you're absolutely gone for the limits here.
Yeah, I mean, I was going for perfection and didn't really get that. I honestly didn't see that we were tailwind.
Yeah.
We definitely had a tailwind component there, and I was expecting to glide a little bit further, honestly, and have a little bit more flare authority, and really didn't have anything when I came down, and set her down on the knees, so DQ'd on that one.
Gear's good, and you're good?
I'm good, yeah. It's honestly the first knee landing since 2022, so.
Well, I mean, that's what happens, I guess, when you're fully concentrating on these skills. You know, sometimes it just gets a little slippery out there, and
yeah,
you get a lot of pressure being first out there as well.
Yeah, exactly, and the conditions are stabilizing as the sun comes up, so we'll get a constant wind direction here in a second. It'll be interesting to see what comes. You know, the course is challenging, right? We have a tree line and a fence on short finals, so some of the landing techniques we usually use, swoop landings and that kind of stuff, are out of the question here because we can't come in with this fence so low, so we got to keep that into account.
For sure, yeah. I mean, there's definitely different directions on this field that would be more of an advantage to the pilots approaching and taking off. But it is what it is this morning.
Yeah, you know, it's the game of competition, so you got to work with what you got in a real motor out situation. Here's
Adrian.
Brooke.
Oh, this is Brooke. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a real good performance by Brooke on the BGE Luna and that Mav Max. He's getting in the seat, and
56 on that takeoff.
We got our competitor from the UK. I forget his name again.
I believe that's Adrian.
That's Adrian, right? The back of his shirt says Great Britain, so I've been calling him Britain.
Team Great Britain. He is on a Factory R, flying on a limitless frame, and the Ozone Viper.
Yeah, and he's a very strong competitor in the classic competitions, both in the UK and the worldwide competition. So it's good to see some real competitors out here. Here's Brooke coming in real low over the fence.
Did he touch down there?
Now see, this is what I'm talking about with the fence. You know, he had to come in low, and you know, to bleed off that energy from popping over that fence is tricky. You almost don't have enough time to get down and get the lowest score possible.
I heard a little blip of the motor there to bring him back up to get him across that line. So definitely.
Yeah, that cost him a few feet though. It probably saved him the landing, but cost him a few feet.
We'll see what the score comes in from Leah.
Yeah. Oh, but the flight suit. So this is a genuine Dickies cotton twill. Good inflation.
6-0 for Brooke.
That's not going to send.
Oh no. Not what you want there.
Oh no, we have a
rare STOL turtle.
Yeah, we got a rare Florida ground turtle out here. The Florida variant's pretty rare, but we got a picture. He's out, he's safe. Generally speaking, a turtle's not the worst thing to happen to a motor, but he's doing good. So
yeah, tell me the story on this flight suit.
Yeah, the flight suit came out of the desert in Nevada. I showed
Clean.
up. Yeah.
Clean for being from a desert.
Yeah, it's been through the wash. It's been through a Speed Queen a couple times, but you know, I went to a consignment shop there at Burning Man, and that place runs on a gifting economy. So you just walk in and they gift you whatever clothes you got, and they said, put this on, and it hasn't fit anyone today, but it looks like it would fit you. And I came in, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. It fits your shoulders so well. You don't have to roll up your legs at all. And it came with patches from Top Gun. It was kind of a Halloween costume, and I took those off because I didn't want to cosplay as an F-14 pilot, because I'm not. And I've just been wearing it. I wear it for projects around the bus, wear it to IKEA. It's very versatile. You got many pockets, zippers, non-zippers. Just got a patch from the great town of Kanab down in southern Utah from my friend Byron Lysick. And then it was sewn on right before I came here. And of course, this year I received this sweet 8/8 November Victor pin from the Black Rock City Municipal Airport, and so we're repping that out here on the field.
You're gonna be like a NASCAR driver soon. We'll just fill that thing up with patches and sponsors.
Yeah, I didn't have time to put the "Have a Nice Day" on my butt, but
That's
I got a
that's
nice patch
touch
for that. Yeah,
I like that.
It's a little hot in
I was
the
gonna say
daytime.
the suit help you keep some warmth as well as comfort and style, of course.
Well, it's kind of a when you're filming, you need to have continuity, and some people don't know this, but you can swap around the timeline when you're making a video. So there, if I had to add in a clip of me taking off that wasn't actually from the moment I took off, I could always just use that.
That's incredible.
I know.
Storytelling at its finest.
Yeah, we're doing our best to tell a story here of the STOL competition. We got 2 more competitors up. We have it looks like a Hadron dudek wing. Notoriously tricky to launch in low wind conditions.
I believe that would be Andrew Saunders on the dudek. Drift air?
It doesn't look like a drift air. It is a drift air. Okay, I have owned one, and that is a good wing to inflate. It's a very well-rounded wing.
Is that the left lane or the right lane?
That's going to be the right lane, and the orange, white, and blue wing. He's getting set up there. Looks like we have a wind stabilizing in the favor of the competitors. One thing we haven't talked about too much is we've talked about the wet grass on the wings and how that affects the inflation characteristics, but we haven't talked about it on the feet, and that's a real tricky thing. You need to be a lot more balanced because you easily could slide on your feet and DQ like Kyle and I did. So good inflation, and he's got a little wingtip, but he's deep in the brakes. I think that was a very good showing. He used all of the available lift from the wing, deep in the brakes, high angle of attack, but not at the stall point. That's another tricky thing we're going to have to deal with, is getting too deep in the brakes and having a potential stall or spin situation.
There's an 82 on that takeoff there.
It's a highly competitive run. If he sticks this landing, he's in a good place.
I believe this is our Venezuelan pilot. I'm not 100% sure. A lot of pilots moving through the system.
Here he is on short
Joaquin
final.
Vivas, I believe.
Slightly relaxed posture, kind of leaning back. Good approach, deep in the brakes, really high, going to come straight down and stick that landing.
Interesting approach, coming kind of ballooning up and coming straight down like that.
Yeah, it's interesting getting stopped in the shortest amount of time.
It was a 41 on that landing.
It's a 4-1. That's a very competitive score. A lot of people go for, when we normally land, setting the wing down, nose up, and turning around and kiting it down so it's easy to pack up, not tangled and everything. But in STOL, the name of the game is getting stopped as short as possible. Forget about the wing. So it's very possible it goes in front of you off to the side and sits down crooked. And here we go. This
will be Andrew Saunders coming up here. He's 23 years old on a Viterazzi Moster 185.
PAP frame, good power application here. Oh.
On that dudek drift air you mentioned, 16.
That was a very competitive takeoff. It looks like he had wind in his favor. Dudek drift air 16, strutting and stuff, coming around sharp. Yeah.
43 on that takeoff, beautiful score.
Yeah.
Seems like all the pilots are starting to adjust, watching.
If I'm being honest, it looks like the wind's starting to adjust. Looks like we got wind coming down the field. And I'm not saying that because we DQ'd. I'm saying this is a good thing for all the competitors to be safe and efficient in their takeoffs. We all want wind in our face when we're going down the runway. Here he is on short final. Keeping those feet up. And sticking that, wow, very nice. He really got that body weight forward. See how he's letting the wing come forward, not worrying about turning around and setting that wing down. That seems to be the best move in this low-wind situation.
And a 35 on that landing, beautiful score.
Very consistent.
That'll definitely help him in the leaderboard. All right, we should probably page some pilots. Looks like we need Witt and Wallow, sorry for the...
Whitney and Wallow.
Wallow, thank you. And Jim and Brock, you guys are kind of in the hole. Start getting your gear prepped. Oh, we might be Brock Liss.
Oh, no.
So that would be Colby Burton needs to be gearing up.
It sounds like we might have another round for competition, a little redemption run with better wind conditions here.
That's great news for everybody.
That's really great news. It's,
Wow.
like we say, it's a game of inches, but a sport of miles. So, one score isn't going to necessarily win or lose the competition for you. It's the more times we get to run through this course and the more scores we get to put up on the board, the more we can see the averages and everything work out in people's favor. So
looks like we got Witt setting up on the far lane. That is my personal instructor from Aviator. So big props, big props.
She does indeed have a 140 centimeter prop, quite large. And
she's flying that purple Limitless frame on Team Limitless.
Yeah, it's
Shock it to the
named
crowd.
Purple Rain after the Prince song. Great
She's
classic.
number 9. Number 9.
Yep, number 9 representing from the Great White North. Sounds like she's about to be out for a rip.
She's been flying since 2018. She learned a lot from her local community up in Minnesota and has since been spending a lot of time down at Aviator teaching all the little birds like myself down there to get in the sky safely. And she is one of the best instructors out there. I am so thankful to have her as my coach.
Absolutely great person, great instructor, and one of the only competitors on an Atom 80. So Atom 80 is a smaller motor, less power. However, she is running a 140 centimeter prop, which is going to give her a significant boost in thrust and put her closer to some of the people on the Mosters with 125 centimeter props in terms of power. She also has a significant weight advantage. She's real light. And on a Sirocco, which is a very good inflating wing. It's all lightweight fabric, ozone, so comes up really well.
The advantage to that Atom though is being a bit lighter. So
yeah,
how does that help her get up in the STOL world?
Well, just in general, having a lighter overall frame is going to help you take off the ground shorter. And as the pilot, it's a little bit more maneuverable, so you're a little more nimble on your feet. It'd be a lot easier to recover a wonky landing or takeoff because you have more control over that motor. The ratio between your body weight and the motor weight is higher, so you have the ability to just be more in control.
Wow. Some munchies coming our way. I will definitely partake in that.
Make sure you mute that mic while we're chewing that bread. So Whitney's getting sent out. She's got herself centered here. Doing a full power run up. One of the things we've been seeing consistently with the people finding success is doing a full power run up directly into their takeoff, so creating their own wind. See, she's moving back and forth to get a wind, and see how that wing pops right up through that power band. And that was a great run and takeoff by Whitney. Smooth, efficient inflation, and then transition to the run, takeoff, and power. And she got off in a very short distance. We're going to find out what that was in a second here.
161.
161 feet.
You can definitely see that Atom 80 is affecting that score, just giving her a few extra steps out there.
Yeah, the more power just helps you accelerate. A lot of people think taking off on a paramotor is all strength and muscle, and it's really this delicate balance between how you're applying the power and using it to allow your body to accelerate. Your feet are simply a landing gear. We think about an airplane, the wheels are not powered, so in the same sense, our feet are not providing most of the energy for the takeoff. That's being provided by the motor, so it's important to have a great posture and smooth power application. She's coming in on a little bit of power with a little bit of brake, and that is a really good landing. She's slowed that wing right down, let it fall in front of her. We'll see what that's going to be, but that was easily one of the smoothest landings of the morning. 19 feet.
19er in there. That's definitely a score that's going to help that longer takeoff, because I believe it is what the addition of the two scores get your final score up on that board. This is Jim here.
Yeah, so that was a great application of power. You see how he got in really soon, even before that wing was fully inflated. So when that wing was ready to fly, he already had the proper power for takeoff.
A 56 on that takeoff. He's been flying since 2021.
And that was very smooth. Looks like we have James Sutherland coming back up with his PAP Trike. So we'll be back to the wheel launch competitors.
Yeah, so Jim is rounding up our first round for everybody. So looks like we're going to get another round for everybody to make some adjustments and get scores for those who did have scratches, which is great news.
Absolutely. Love to be on the board. And he's coming in low over the fence, feet down, a little bit of power, and that is going to be a very good landing.
It is where your forward momentum stops. You can see him coming to a complete stop there. We'll wait for the score from the judges.
2-9er.
2-9er.
He's flying a factory R on a PAP frame. That's a powerful motor, big prop.
Mac Para Charger 25 meter from Saskatchewan. So another international competitor here.
Indeed.
From CA Canada.
So we got James and Nick lining back up. He's got the lights on his trike. That is... Jim drove 2,600 miles with mechanical failures in 3 days to compete in the first annual STOL Classics down here in Sunnyland, Florida.
What a guy.
Yeah. We got James lining up here. He is one of the premier trike pilots of the United States, flying a PAP trike with a Polini 205 engine. So that's a water-cooled motor.
Flying for Charlie Soap, and he's got one of the greatest last names in the game.
Indeed. So he's got a unique style. He's very smooth. He is a trike pilot, but doesn't hesitate to use those feet for takeoff foot drags and slowing that trike down. And he set down a very competitive score last night, even with the wheel launch.
Yeah, I spoke to him after his flight this morning. He was not very stoked on his flight, so he is definitely stoked to be back out there, give it another shot, and put a much better score on the board.
Yeah, I think we all are.
Yeah, I watched that clip yesterday of him landing, and he didn't even need the wheels.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
I've never seen anything like that on a trike before.
No, it's hard to find a trike pilot like James Sutherland, doing crosswind taxis, takeoffs. The trike, some people see as a crutch, and James sees as a way to fly in a unique way. There's many things on a trike you can't do foot launch. These crosswind, downwind takeoffs and taxis.
Foot drags on the water, man. I saw that at Bad Apples. Dude is insane.
Yeah.
Such a skilled pilot. And has great content as well. I see him on the Facebook posting videos all the time and just keeping people pumped about being in the sky. And he's just got a great personality, great attitude, and
absolutely great soap too.
Great
Charlie
soap.
So
looks like we have another foot launch over there.
There's that Mac Para Charger out of Canada with that Kanguk, and he is using that power early, staying on those A's. That was not sure how long that takeoff was going to be, but in terms of technique, that was a very well executed takeoff. Got our first competitor lined up now for Trike Part 2. He's getting locked in. You see up on the Trike, he's got those line retainers. Those keep the lines out of the wheels, keep them up, and that wing ready to inflate. And he's got another thing going against him. He's flying a pretty aggressive high aspect ratio wing, which are notoriously tricky to take off with on a trike. High aspect ratio is referring to the ratio between the wingspan and the wing chord, so the distance in the center of the wing from the leading edge to the trailing edge. And the higher that ratio is, the higher performance the wing's going to be, more efficient generally, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging for the pilot. So it's going to, stall a little bit quicker, come up maybe in a horseshoe. So it's definitely a trick when you're trying to launch on a trike and you have this turbulent air coming off the prop and coming through that wing. So he does a really good job with this. And we have now the win we want. We have our Canadian competitor coming in on a little bit of break.
Here comes Jim.
Yeah, he's really going to stomp it. That was a great set down.
Jim Samar coming in with a great landing. We'll get his score here, 19.
19 feet.
I believe that's our shortest we've had all morning.
Yeah, 19 seems to be the going thing. We got to think about the score here. When we're landing normally, there's no line. So sometimes, as we've seen, a lot of these competitors are on the board and scoring higher than the first and second and third places last night because they just landed on their feet.
Sure. So the leaderboard is going to change, is what you're telling me.
Smooth power application, big old brake input, bringing that wing back into its high angle of attack configuration, making a lot of lift, coming in really fast, bringing a low pass in.
Getting a 7.9 on that takeoff.
79 feet for a trike. That's
impressive.
That's very impressive, and that's competitive even in the foot launch class.
Sun is coming up, drying that grass off.
Yeah. The sun really starts to bring in a little bit more consistency from the wind and start the morning cycle of thermals. And, as we get towards the end of this round, I'm sure we'll start to see the effect of heating, and we'll see some lift and sink on landings, and that might hurt or help some people. He's coming in low, feet out, big brakes applied, little bump of power right at the end, and stopping that trike. That is going to be a very strong landing with the classic wheelie, really bringing that trike to a stop as fast as possible. An unorthodox approach. 46 feet for James on the trike. That's going to be a challenge to beat. He's got the power, he's got the skills, he's got the wing. And we've got espresso coming to us from the coffee bar. I'm
not an espresso drinker, but I appreciate it. I'll take the water, though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds like Whitney's going to come in on the microphone, and I am going to be setting up for round 2. Get a drink of water here.
What can we expect from you on the adjustments out there?
Well, just taking into account the wind, it doesn't seem like at the moment landing specifically close to the line is the end goal. I'd rather not risk scratching again and trying to get super close to the line. I'd rather really put some points up on the board. So I'm going to go I'd like to keep the landing under 20 feet. I'd like to keep the takeoff under 20 feet as well. We'll see how that goes. We do have the wind in our favor now. Just going to go out there and give it my best shot. Not going to try any different, new, exciting techniques. Just going to go work with what I know, work with what's consistent, and try to put some points on the board.
Put it on the board, man. Good luck to you out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. We'll catch up with you after your run. I'm now joined by Whitney.
How
we doing, Whit?
What's up, buddy?
How'd it go out there?
It was pretty good. My takeoffs are always poopy, but because I just don't have the power that literally everybody else has. Adam gang. I'm the only Adam competitor, so STOL is not my strong suit. But my landing was pretty good. That was my best landing for sure.
And I know you're looking forward to the other tasks this week, so.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun doing I think we're going to be doing the treasure hunt this afternoon. That was
some navigation.
Yeah, we got to go to certain spots and find things, I guess. Maybe take pictures of it. I'm not sure. Haven't heard all the details on it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be a learning curve for everybody. So
yeah,
we'll find out more about that later on. Looks like we got Nick setting up on the trike over there. He's on a Moster 185. Feel the heat of that sun coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this
Creamer's going, so he's definitely going for the style points with the judges.
Yeah, Cappy.
Heading right overhead.
Looking good.
Coming in with a score of 8-9. 8-9 for Cappy on that takeoff.
Oh, coming in swinging.
Got his feet ready.
Yeah. Nice stop for Cappy.
That was great.
That looks pretty good.
You see that checkered flag waving, which means that was a scored landing.
Yes. Excellent. Thanks, G. And that ends our trike competitors for this round. Waiting on the score from our judges.
5-2. 5-2. That is a great trike score.
Great job, Cappy. All right. Yeah. Gives a wave to the crowd. Excellent. All right, we got Kyle on the line, and Judson setting up his wing.
Definitely excited to see what these two guys are going to put down right here.
All right. This is a good head-to-head right here. Judson flying the Viper XC. Kyle on a BGD. I think it's called the Icon.
I think it's the BGD question mark.
Yeah, well, he told me the name yesterday, but I can't remember. It's the BGD question mark in very pretty colors.
He's on a Factory R. Judson on the EFI, both high-end motors. The BGD Icon, I've been told.
I did guess it right. Yay.
Thank you, Leah. Always listening. Looks like Kyle resides in Lake Wales, Florida. It says that's his hometown, but...
Here we go. Yeah, nice job.
That is what he was looking for. A drone right in his face flying backwards.
Give a wave.
That's gonna be a great shot from Reese.
That's fantastic. Oh, Reese is still here? Okay.
Oh yeah, he probably did leave, huh? Yeah.
He should be leaving. He should be on a Disney cruise pretty soon.
Yeah. Hopefully he did leave. Maybe he forgot.
Maybe it's Dro running the drone. All right.
I'm on the switch.
2-9 on that takeoff.
Ooh, very nice.
We got Dro helping us out in the van. He's definitely been a huge asset out here. Since I was stuck in Africa, he stepped up big time yesterday to help this live stream out.
All right, here comes Kyle. No scratchies. Good job.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh, what a good time stall.
Yeah, I think he really watched these approaches coming in over the fence, and the different obstacles and features around here that you got to work around. And man, that was a beautiful landing.
Kyle definitely utilized the swoop on that one because he came in over the fence line and just killed his motor about 30 feet before the line and just
popped a 12.
Very nice job. 12. Good job there, Kyle.
All right, here comes Judson.
There you go.
Solid lean back. That was a beautiful. Show him how it's done takeoff.
Well done there, Judson.
I love the colors of that wing, too.
I know. I love the pink and white.
A 31 on that takeoff for Judson.
Well done there, buddy. Let's see how he performs on his landing.
Yeah, that white and pink looks good. Now, does the white take more of effect from the sun or less?
I think the debate is out on that, but it does get dirtier faster.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure.
It's like a white car.
Yeah. It's never white again. It's always dust colored.
Yep.
All right, here comes Judson.
Getting a little bit of a swoop there. Trying to get some energy. Just coming right over that fence.
Nice. No
checkered
DQ.
flag's waving, so that's a good sign. He looks happy. A 24 for Judson.
24, 2-4. Well done, everybody.
Yeah, great scores. I know he wanted to keep it under 20, but 4 feet.
It's close.
It's close.
It's close. Now we got some real competition with Kyle and Judson there.
So next we have Erico and Luigi. Mo and Jillian start gearing up. Following that, we've got Scott and Mike. Trying to get everybody through for a second attempt this morning. Conditions are ideal. Could be a little bit stronger headwind for the STOL, which would provide some better scoring, but everybody's got the same conditions. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd take a little bit of wind. I think all of us competitors certainly would take a little bit of headwind.
whether it was a STOL or not, we like a little bit of headwind.
Right, yeah, it makes our lives a little easier.
Oh, it was Reese. Reese is still
hey,
here.
Reese. Yeah, you
He's
are.
pushing the limits, as always.
Push it to the
Hey,
limit.
you guys can hear. Reese can hear you. Let's make a huge round of applause for Reese helping put on this event.
Yes, we love you, Reese.
Now go get on that cruise.
Come on, get.
Tell Goofy I said what's up.
Looks like Adrian has got his machine back and rock and rolling for his next attempt after his little oopsie doops on his landing.
Big oopsie doops.
Big oopsie doops. Well, listen.
That was his quote, not mine.
Yeah, listen, he landed with like a tailwind, and this grass is so slippery, it's nasty out there. So the conditions are improving, and things are looking up for Adrian's attempt here in a couple of tries.
I'm not sure who we're going to get going here first between Erico and Luigi.
Well, I'm glad to see that Erico's wing is okay. I was worried about it on his previous landing there.
It's always great news when you hear those noises that you see everybody cringe all at the same time.
Yeah. the collective gasp.
A lot of money going into this gear, so nobody wants to see anybody take a L on gear.
Right. It's a pretty big commitment to go full send on a stall landing, like kind of what Kyle did. So
I'm not sure who's going. I guess we got Luigi probably going first. Looks like his motor's on.
Looks like Gata's talking with Leah. They're both getting prepped. Looks like
both motors are on, so we might get.
Looks like Luigi's probably ready
Luigi's
first.
Taking a couple steps back.
Yep.
Doing his run up. Luigi's flying for Air Italy Paramotors. As his profile says here, an Italian boy just running into the sky.
All right, he's doing his power.
Actually, it says an Italian boy running into his middle age with his feet firmly planted on the ground, but his head in the clouds.
Yeah.
Nice lean back. Oh!
Nice. Still a good job, though.
Yeah, still a
good one.
He went for the jump, tried to get up in the sky early.
Yeah. Well, looks like we have a paramotor joining us in the distance.
It's become a fly-in.
Yeah. Huh.
55.
5-5 for Luigi.
He took his first steps in the flying world in 2017, and he has been stoked because it has transformed his life, which I think is true for all of us.
Yeah.
He was a paragliding pilot back in 2018 and a powered hang glider pilot in 2019, so he just loves being in the sky.
Oh, this is Mr. Aviation over here. Love it. All right.
Taking another kind of swoop approach to get some energy into that wing, which is definitely a strong strategy.
Ooh. Nice.
Wow.
Well done, Luigi. Good spot. That's gonna be a small score.
That's gonna be, I think, our best score of the day with a 1-0, a 10.
1-0, 10 for Luigi. Good job, buddy. And we got Enrico coming off the ground here shortly.
He's one of our Sky Sports Egypt pilots, a Brazilian, another international pilot, which is awesome on a Moster 185.
Yeah, get that wing up there. Yes, nice job, Enrico. That was a good takeoff.
Yeah, you see some of the pilots kind of doing that run jump, some just casually running into the sky.
Right.
It's just all about how you know your gear.
Yep, exactly. It's being able to predict what your wing's going to do and feeling that brake pressure in the hands.
Comes in with a score of a 33.
33. That was a great takeoff.
I wish I had a better memory because I have no clue what the best scores are, at least for the takeoff. I think the best we just saw on the landing was the 10.
Yep.
But yeah, my memory not so great.
And
sleep not so great.
I'm not so good on the memory either, but that was a really good landing. Nice low number, especially when we don't really have much of a headwind like that. That's a well-timed flare for landing on that one.
Looks like his journey in the paramotor world began in 2012 and in 2014. So he started twice, I guess.
Maybe.
Maybe the second
one
was
he took
Trike.
A break. Maybe he took a break.
He founded the Bravo Fly Paramotor E-Paratrike.
Oh, don't hit that fence. There we go.
Coming in nice and low, trying to stay up above the one.
Go. Nice. Nice, Enrico. Well done.
Came in super low. Had to give a little power there to get across the line.
Arico's flying with the SkyMax motor, and he's on an APCO. Is it an Easy or an Easy R? I'm not sure. It may not say.
I'm sorry, the wing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Easy R.
Oh, yeah. APCO Lift Easy R.
I believe that was a 2.4.24 on that landing.
On the line, we've got Mariah and Jillian setting up to take off.
Mariah, our only butt fans athlete. Jillian, our limitless and ozone athlete. Pilot, I should say.
Yeah. Ooh, Mo's putting a nice big deep V in that wing for that inflation characteristic that he's looking for. You'll notice some pilots put a really deep delta in their wing to really encourage the inflation. Others like a nice crescent layout. I'm a fan of the deep V myself. It really helps these higher aspect ratio wings come up quicker.
Yeah, the V always seems to help me when it's low winds for sure. But we're always still learning out here.
Mm-hmm. You still rocking that Mojo?
Oh yeah,
Mojo
Slow
Jojo.
Joe baby.
Slow Joe.
I'm always flying by myself, so I'm not trying to keep up with anybody. And
that's fine, man.
As I say, Mama's happy. I'm on the Mojo.
I am happy, and your mama's happy too.
Yeah, both mamas are
I'm
happy.
your paramom. Yeah, we got UFOs coming in.
We got a plane. We got a paramotor pilot watching. Best seat in the game probably, but just stay out of the airspace, please.
Yep. Go land back behind us over there.
Looks like Mo is fired up, getting ready to go here. Foot on the line.
Okay.
All right, Mo getting the run up going here.
There we go. Little hip hop. Whoop, whoop.
Hip a hop, a hippity hop.
Nice job. It's tricky, man. You got to really push for that thrust to get you off the ground far enough before you sit down.
I got nervous there for a second. I didn't realize he parked his brakes to do the seat adjustment, but it was a two-handed adjustment. And I thought he put it in his back pocket.
That would be very dynamic.
That was a 6.5 on that takeoff. There's all kinds of different approaches to getting your butt in that seat. My favorite is the Byler wiggle.
Yeah, the shimmy shimmy.
The shimmy shimmy.
I do a leg shimmy sometimes.
Yeah.
If I'm wearing really grippy pants, it's harder to get into the seat. You got to wear those smooth pants.
I just like to do the one hand.
Yeah.
Use the thumb.
Yep.
But the Byler wiggle is definitely
all right, here
very
comes
unique.
Mo on the landing. Ooh, nice job.
Way to use the energy.
He stood it up.
Oh.
Just a little blanket.
Just a little blanket.
Well done there, Mo. Let's see what we got.
$17 on that landing. Got some great scores coming into the second round.
Nice job. You kept it under 20. I feel like under 20 is kind of like the goal for most of us today. If we can stoink it and then stop moving, that's going to be the best result we can get.
Like
all right.
Jillian getting set up over there. We got Scott Julius, Mike Carlson, and Adrian in the holes.
There's Jill off the line. We got a good score there.
She's our limitless ozone pilot, coming in with a score of a 56 on that takeoff.
Well done, G. Let's see if we can get it on the line.
Jill is the STOL queen out at Lake Wales. We've all seen her just outperform all of us.
She's a master. Her lean back game is
insane,
strong.
insane.
And if you notice on the Paramotor STOL logo, there's a paramotor pilot doing the lean back. That is Jillian Wintermute herself.
Wow.
On the
Silhouetted.
Paramotor STOL. Yes, yes. All right, over the fence. Here she comes.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Right on the line.
That's under 20. It looks like it's under 20 to me.
Coming in with a score of a 17.
Ooh, very nice. Same
Very
as
nice.
Mo. Same score as Mo for those landings. Well done, everybody. Yeah, the flags are starting to move a little bit, so we've got some wind beginning to help our competitors out with their takeoffs and their landings. Oh, that breeze feels nice.
Yeah, Scott Julius and Mike Carlson setting up Adrian, Brooke, Andrew in the hole, if you will.
Boy, the weather this week so far has been really good here. There's not nary a cloud in the sky other than at like 60,000 feet.
How's it looking for the rest of the week? I haven't got a chance to check.
You know, it's looking a little weird starting Wednesday afternoon.
So we'll start doing our paramotor god dances here today. And
Yeah, we're going to be doing some
non-rain dances?
Non-rain, non-wind dances. The forecast is, we're still a couple days out, so it's hard to guess. Looks like Scott is about to go.
Scott's out of Buffalo, New York, flying with our good buddy Keenan up there. Shouts out to the Buffalo crowd.
Get off the ground. There you go, Scott. Nice job, buddy. That's right, he flies up there with Keenan a lot of the time.
Yeah, I was mentioned earlier, 74 on that one. I got to fly up there in August, and it was beautiful. It's so gorgeous up there.
They're up near the Finger Lakes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
Flying out to skydive the falls, and it was just great because we hadn't seen each other really since school. And like I was saying earlier, the only thing better than flying with your friends is talking to your friends while you're flying with them. And
yeah.
Courtesy of Only Butt Fans comms, we got to catch up.
Coming up.
Right into the flag, but looks legal.
It's legal. You can tap the flag. It's allowed. Well done, buddy.
You heard him creeping in over us. You might have heard him. He's like, heads up, coming in. 2-4 on that landing.
2-4. Not bad, not bad.
Not bad at all.
He almost did a cage slide in there. And we don't want that to happen. That's touching the ground prematurely. We don't want that to happen.
Might have to adjust our pit area here so that these approaches can adjust with the wind.
Yeah, Scott came in between the pole and our backdrop here.
Impressive piloting.
Well done, Scott. All right.
This would be Mike Carlson taking off.
Oh, there we go.
In just a few steps.
Nice job there, Mike. So we got Adrian and Brooke coming up.
49 for Mike on that takeoff on his Ozone Sirocco 20. He's out of Seward, Florida. On a MacFly frame, Viterazzi Factory R. Circle the field and come in for his landing.
I lost my pizza control. If you're able to help me out with that later.
Cool. You might just right-click it and hit reset on the NDI input.
Gotcha.
Here he comes, in for his landing. He's safe. Nice. Good stop. That'll be a nice short score.
Checkered flag a-waving, so it means the official score coming in. This might be the top score. I'm just thinking. The first landing under 10 feet. Make some noise for an 8-foot landing.
Hey, very nice job, Mike. Mike Carlson
Beautiful.
with 8 feet.
Wow. Definitely an advantage to going last.
Yeah, you know, as the morning progresses, the conditions are changing, so it's going to make it a little bit. It's going to be pretty interesting to see some later scores. I'm hopeful to decrease my score, so to speak, when I'm up in a few rounds.
Like Adrian and Brooke setting up, I believe.
Yeah, we got Adrian on the line and Brooks over there on the line, so we're looking good. Looking good.
Adrian on a Factory R with a limitless frame, Ozone Viper 20. out of London.
Yeah.
Of course, Brooks out of Asheville, North Carolina on a Parajet Mav Max.
Well, I'm going to go and get myself set up and ready to go because I'm up in a few rounds.
Well, good luck, Coach. Keep those little feet running.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have Mr. Mooney come and join us here for a
Awesome.
little chitty chat. Thanks, guys.
What's up, Kyle? How we doing? Mr. Kyle Mooney coming to join me. How are the conditions out there, my friend?
It's no wind. I mean, as you can see, the windstalks are moving and they're flailing a little bit. But of course, as it should go with the winds in the morning, it's always really low, or as we would say, dead wind. And that's the hardest conditions to actually launch in. Now, you're adding the harder conditions to launch in, along with trying to do it as short as possible. So
all the factors.
Yeah, everything is factored into it. And there's techniques. Some people are in an area where they don't do a lot of no wind stuff.
Sure.
Right, and then some people live where it's always no wind. So of course that plays a part.
Well, you're an instructor down here in Florida, so you've got the most experience of these conditions probably of most of these folks.
Yeah, I mean we live about an hour from here, and we get no wind a lot, and it's one of my favorite things to fly in. But trying to land really short in no wind is difficult.
For sure, you really got to use the energy, come up with certain ways to get energy to that wing and take advantage of that. What was the biggest adjustment you made from your first round to your second?
The approach, the landing approach. Coming in really low and trying to slow down your speed, it works, but when you get to the end, you have no flare authority left. There's nothing left in the glider, so having some energy as you come in is really important. But then that becomes a timing thing because you're now going over the trees and everything back here, and you have to time what we would call the porpoise or the balloon effect, where you pull some brake on both of them and release them to build up that energy. But if you mistime that, you're either too short or too far. So it has to be timed perfectly, and it's
moving around all the features of the flags, of the paramotors, the pit.
So there's a lot of little things that go into it, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and you came out with a way better score than the scratch. So
yeah, I mean anything's better than the scratch. But I think my favorite part about that was because Judson scratched too. So right when he scratched, I just jumped up and said woohoo, because we're all having fun, we're all having a good time, and that's the whole point of it. Is like let's have some fun, let's grow it, and let's build it, and obviously make it a competition.
Of course, yeah. I mean everybody here is friends, but there is a competition on the line.
There is.
We got to put a little pressure on each other.
Yeah, it's as Leo we were talking about it. It's the game. Right, you got to figure out little ways that you can, give yourself an advantage. Like my first launch, taking off a little sideways, with the wind being different.
Next time you guys are head to head, you should just go over and be like, "Do you breathe in or breathe out before you land?"
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, we talk about some of that. I mean, maybe not quite that far, but we talk about that kind of thing.
Just get in his head a little bit.
Well, yeah.
All right, so I guess this is probably going to be Brooke getting ready to take off on the far lane. Brooke, another guy that's been instructing for a long time, tons of experience. He talked about the adjustments he wants to make as well, so I know he wants to improve his score.
I mean, we all want to improve our score.
That's the name of the game, I guess.
Absolutely. No, I've known Brooke for a long time, and phenomenal tandem instructor up in North Carolina up there. Foot launch instructor as well, but Brooke's an amazing human being, and I'm glad he came down.
So energetic, man. That guy has
I love it.
Such a passion for this sport, and just
he's always happy.
Always happy.
Always happy.
He's always smiling, always getting people hyped on, and always kind of sliding his instructor knowledge in there as well. So definitely keeping people safe, motivated, and educated.
Yeah, and he's always willing to talk to anybody about anything to do with paramotoring.
That's
always.
Great. We're just nerding out here, you know.
No big deal. That's how you learn, right?
That's right. Kyle, you don't know too much about me. I just trained to aviator last year.
Yeah.
So I've been flying as much as I can. I got like 100 hours now this year. It's been great, but I've definitely have seen you at Lake Wales, instructing and doing your thing.
Yeah.
And definitely want to come, learn some trike stuff from you guys.
Absolutely.
Definitely want to just, at first when I got in, I was like, nah, I never have any interest in doing trike. And then, of course, a year later, here I am. I'm like, I got to get a trike.
Yeah, and that was kind of Brooke, too. Brooke just took off, had a good launch. You could see he got pretty deep into those brakes, trying to get as much lift as possible before he could take off. And, learning trike, it was always kind of seen as like you have to be broken or something along those lines, or older in order to fly a trike, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But once you start flying trike, it's amazing and it's so much fun because it's just another way of flying. You still get to do what you get to do, but it's just different aspects of it.
And I think for me, I fly a lot by myself at home, and I really just want to share the experience with people in the sky. So I just want to, get that tandem exemption and start taking people up.
Absolutely, yeah. Brooke with a nice landing.
Yeah, that was nice. I noticed when he did his pattern, you could kind of see him playing with the energy of the wing to really try to see what the conditions are. It definitely helped out there in his landing.
Yeah, I think when you're heading on that downwind, going to get set up for your approach, you can kind of play with your approach and figure out where do I want to land, how do I want to make this approach, do I want to, pull some brake, anything like that. So it really makes a difference when you're able to play with it. Got Adrian taking off here.
We'll see if we can get Brooke's score here in a second.
Oh, nice job, Adrian. Had to get that redemption from the first flight, So for those of you that are just joining, Adrian had a small mishap on the first one, but hey, right back in the air, and that's what you need to do. That's one of the big things with flying, is getting back on the horse.
5.3 on that takeoff. Not bad at all.
Nice.
Brooke got a 36 on his landing. Seems like kind of the happy place is around a 20, 25.
Yeah.
Definitely anything under that is going to put you towards the top of the leaderboard.
And they're definitely going to, yep. So that's where we're talking about holding that energy. It's so difficult to time it absolutely perfectly.
We haven't really talked about the advantage of the inside against the far lane, but there's definitely a bit more features on your approach in the way
on the close lane.
The close lane.
There's definitely more. I mean, you have the trees and everything here. So I think on the left it does help as well. But that's also why we do bounce back and forth on them for our runs. So you might get 2 on the right and then 2 on the left, and they might be in the same order.
All right, I think that moves us down to Wallow, Joglin, and Witt, and then Jim will round us off, I believe, for the morning. So just a few pilots left in the second round here, and I think probably we'll wrap up our morning STOL comp. It's been a beautiful morning out here. It's been a long time since we've seen contests in the paramotor world here in the U.S., and it's great to see some of the top pilots from not only around the nation, but around the world joining us today.
It's so much fun to just hang out with everybody. I mean, you get to come in here, and yeah, like I said, it's a competition, but, last night at the fire, the things that people don't get to see is us playing the game, right? We're talking about strategy and figuring out how can this work better than this, and why would you choose to do this versus this? Because there's obviously, there's STOL. And then there's other aspects of the competition as well. And there's so many things that you can play.
It's like a group debrief.
It is, but you're also trying to figure out what can work better.
Yeah. It's a learning curve, It's being so new, and a lot of these pilots, like we were mentioning earlier, I guess the last competition in the States was, over 20 years ago. So most of these pilots have been flying for way less than that. So just, talking amongst each other, learning the little skills you can here and there. And, the amount of stuff I've just learned just sitting here watching has been.
Well, and that's how we grow it, just talking about it and then getting the exposure for people to see it and see how it's done. And bringing competition it's really cool because it also gives you a goal to shoot for. Like, hey, and the thing is you don't need to be flying for 5-10 years to join one of these competitions, right?
Yeah, for sure. I haven't got to try out the gaggle navigation, but, man, I'm so excited to try it. Just another thing to do while you're up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Setting goals.
Had that last foot touchdown. So even if you take off, but your foot happens to touch the ground another 5 feet after you took off, that is actually where your takeoff point would be.
A 57 on that takeoff. Not sure if that was Andrew or Joglin.
Yep, that's who it was. And then Andrew's on the drifter in the right lane.
Joglin's been a paramotor pilot for 5 years, and he's accumulated more than 100 hours of flight. He's on a Moster 185 with a PAP frame from Venezuela.
It's a lot longer drive than mine was. Gets the landing in. Nice job.
Little skirt there on the landing.
And you see how he came in at an angle, right? It helps because the wind right now is coming
cross almost.
Yeah, north is directly to our left of launching, and right now we have a pretty strong crosswind, and you can see Andrew's actually laid out similar to what I did on my first run, because now you take off going sideways, right? But you're more into the wind, and you're actually the 10-foot line is out here, but if you're at an angle, you might have to run 13 feet, but you only hit 10 when you took off. So it's actually a win-win for you if you do it that way.
And coming in with a score of a 33 on that landing. That would mean that this is Andrew, 23 years old, 4 years of flying, just recently learned foot launch tandem. Primarily flies out of the east coast of Central Florida, so another Florida pilot. He's also on a Moster 185 PAP frame on the dudek.
Yeah, I think he's on the. Is he on the Drifter, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
16. An aggressive wing.
Yes. It is, but weight does play a part. Absolutely. Thrust to weight ratio is a big part of it.
You could definitely see on that takeoff that the wind is kind of across our STOL field, giving him a 31 on that takeoff. Wind is definitely becoming a factor for these later pilots. Definitely helping these. Look, you can see the windsock out there. Got some angle on it finally. Got off the pole.
I don't think anybody's going to complain about a little bit of breeze, though.
No. Wow. Stood that up, man. He was so low. Beautiful
nice job.
landing. With a 42 there on that landing.
And if you watch, everybody individually, whether it's laying out their glider, prepping their glider, launching, landing, you can see all of these little different techniques. Everyone has something a little bit different that they choose to do in it. And a lot of the time, it's just what works for them,
No two pilots are the same.
No, you might have a similar style, but there's always something that you're doing a little bit differently than somebody else. And you pick that up, the more you practice and you learn from others as well. That's the talking about it. You get to figure out different things.
It's like we got Witt setting up on the far lane and Wallow setting up what he told me is his wife's wing on the near lane.
Yep.
Witt is our limitless pilot. She's been flying since 2018. She's our only Adam 80 pilot. Repping hard.
Oh, she heard you over there. I think
She's
I saw her
twerking.
dancing. Yeah, she was dancing over there. I saw a thumbs up.
The advantage with the animated, you can twerk while you're rocking the motor.
Right. And it's great too. So that's the other part of the competition, right? There's other aspects to this, and if we have STOL and navigation,
and there's
all
dancing.
And there's dancing. You can dance in the air. If you're hanging out, you can dance in the air. She's still dancing out there, kicking stuff around, dancing.
Witt always has a great time with the motor. Well, with or without the motor.
Oh, as you should.
For sure. Her husband or boyfriend James out there helping volunteer. Got tons of volunteers out there in the green vest rocking the Only Butt Fans logo.
Yeah, we appreciate them because without the volunteers and pilots, but the volunteers out there, we can't do this without that. If I'm out there judging, I'm like, yeah, that was 40 feet, Judson. It's like, no, that was 7. Like, no, it wasn't. We have these volunteers out here, and they really make it awesome.
Yeah, thank you to all you volunteers and the pilots for coming out. Can't forget to mention all of our sponsors. Let's see if we can rock through these real quick. We got our title sponsors of Limitless, Vitarazi, Sky Sports Egypt, and Air Italy. Limitless, Aviator, Paramotor, Nomad Flyer, Ozone, One Up, Only Butt Fans, Gaggle, Fly Products, Get Funky Media, Liberty Paramotor, and Airnest Paramotors, and Safaria? I don't know.
That one.
Yeah. But thank you to all the sponsors. Like this event literally would not happen without you guys. Of course, thank you to our host, Marcos. This is a beautiful site. Able to hold our first comp here is great for the STOL Paramotor Classics.
And he went through a ton of work. I was talking to him the night I got here, and he went through a ton of work to get the place ready for all the people to be showing up, the field mode, and everything. How as nice as you can make it. You want it to be an amazing place, and it really is. He did a great job.
Have you been to the treehouse?
I've not been to the treehouse.
Reese took me on a walk last night. It is unbelievable.
Right.
It's not a treehouse. It's a house.
It's a house. It's a house in a tree. But it's a real house in a tree. It's not
there's
the kid
air
tree
conditioning.
house.
There's a fireplace. There's lights.
That ain't the one like
there's
I
running
built.
water.
Yeah.
There's a bathroom. It's incredible.
I had a platform. And that was it. That was my treehouse.
Yeah, not to code, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it was definitely approved by the city, I swear. So Whitney's warming up her engine. We like to do that because we don't want any bogging down right before you take off. So you warm it up. She's inflating right now. You can see that wing came up pretty hard to the left. And it's lagging back a little bit, but she got that lift.
That was great.
Yep.
Great for the Adam 80 takeoff.
Yeah, and the thing is she took off going to the left, right? So she went into the wind. So it was actually a shorter takeoff than if she would have went straight. It was actually a shorter takeoff doing it that way. And that's just playing the game, you know. That's what we're out here to do. You know, you can lay out a little crosswind, maybe land a little crosswind, or turn at the last second. We're just playing that game and trying to get, literally, the inches.
The game of inches.
The game of inches, yeah.
47. Not inches, but feet on that takeoff.
Yeah.
That's a great score for an Adam 80.
Absolutely. And with not ideal wind.
And I guarantee she will help that score with this landing. Gonna have an interesting approach with this crosswind, threading the needle.
Hey, nice job.
Oh, just pulled forward there.
Just half a step forward a little bit.
It is where your forward momentum stops. She's planted now and not moving until that score comes in. The 27, that is a great score. I know she's going to be happy about that.
No, that is a great score. And what's cool is as the morning progresses, the landings and the launches will be shorter. Just we have wind coming up, and you can see right here Wall is inflating and just running straight towards the line. And what a launch.
He told me he is on his wife's wing. I'm not sure what he meant by that.
So that's actually his wife's wing. On the bottom you can see it says U.S. Navy, right? So, I know whose wing that is, and he wanted to fly her wing, and that's the thing, right? We also had to pick a glider that's good for all of the things that we're going to be doing. You can't switch gliders, so it's part of the game that you're playing. It's like, you know, which one do I want it for?
That's a pretty cool wing that says U.S. Navy.
It's
anyway.
beautiful.
So thank you for your service to his wife.
Absolutely.
30 feet for that takeoff. Looks like his wife has a foot injury, so he was not able to compete this week.
Yeah, she kicked him really hard.
She kicked him for taking his wing.
Yeah, right?
Her wing, sorry. Oh, woo! Kicking up some dirt there.
That looked good to me.
Don't forget to fix your divots.
Yeah. We got some sand you can fill those in with.
I believe that was a scratch. I think he touched down just before the line, but we'll wait for the official score from the judges, and it is a scratch.
Oh. Give it to him.
So that means we are down to our final pilot for the morning. I was gonna say you can feel it, and then Witt's out here just hyping them up. We love the team, you know, pumping up.
Absolutely.
Go Canada. Go North America.
Hey, I don't remember the exact amount of miles, but I think it was something in the 1,600 to 1,800 range that Jim drove here in 3 days. 2,600 miles?
2,600.
That is bonkers.
I'm sure it's a bit warmer, though, so...
Well, now it's warmer. He just got warmer the further he drove.
He's got 300 hours of experience. He loves long cross countries in his car and in his paramotor. He succeeded in the top 5 of the cross-country challenge over the years. That's pretty impressive. So he's got some skills, you know, across the paramotor world, but let's see how he does here in this STOL. He can take all the time in the world. He's got
all
the eyes on him. He's got
wait
the whole
for that
field
wind to get
himself,
perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
and smartly takes that outside lane.
Started up his motor, now he's going to get that thing to full power and make sure he's getting all set up right, and then we'll see a takeoff.
He's on a Moster 185 Plus, flying on a Mac Para Charger 25-meter wing from Saskatchewan, Canada. This is Jim Samard.
Watch for that wing come up a little left. Yep. Had to get a few extra steps in, but nice job, Jim.
52 on that takeoff. He's going to hit the pattern, come in for his landing, which is going to wrap up our morning. Day 2 of the Paramotor STOL Classics. It's been a great morning. The conditions last night looked pretty epic as well.
They were, and it was cool because the conditions are very different this morning than they were last night. You know, it's not just high wind or low wind the whole time. Having these different conditions really works on all of the skills that you've
keeps you on your toes.
Pilot. Yeah, absolutely. And you have to change the way that you fly and your approaches and all of these things change. So,
is there a skill set that you're looking forward to later on this week?
I like STOL.
So we're here.
I love STOL, and I love the precision stuff. So you could ask anybody standing here, and I don't go further than, if you can see it, that's about as far as I go normally. So going on these navigation and these cross-country parts of it, it's I wouldn't say it's intimidating. It is more like, that's a long flight, for me anyway. So, but I'm looking forward to the precision stuff.
And
you fly like Fletch flies.
Yes, I do. I fly like Fletch flies. We hang around the airports and have a good time, and I might go here and there.
I know Fletch watches like everything on YouTube, so hopefully he's watching us right now.
I hope so. Jim coming in, stands it up.
I think he came down just a little farther than he wanted to.
Yeah. Had that little extra glide right at the end there.
Coming in with a 47. And that's it for our morning. That's our STOL comp. The other thing I was going to mention, you were talking about STOL is your favorite. It's probably the easiest to practice on your own as well. You don't have to really set a whole lot up. You can kind of draw.
A line.
Yeah.
If you have a line or just something out there that you can use for it, it's one of the easiest things to practice in that regard. And you can try it in different winds based on what you do at home.
Yeah, and you can just kind of set up flags every 10 feet or a marker with paint and have your friend help you out and judge you. And
yeah, even if you want to get your score exactly, but for a lot of it, if you just want to straight practice it, just put a line out there and just try to
and you can
tell
if you're doing good.
Aim small, miss small.
Exactly. But man, I think we should probably wrap up the morning. It's been a great morning. Thanks to all the competitors. Thanks to all of our sponsors, the volunteers, our host. This is awesome. It's great to see everybody come together, and we're here. It started. Thanks to the organizers for putting this event on. So much more to look forward to this week. We will keep our fingers crossed on the weather, and so much more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for it, and I think all of the competitors, the more we keep doing it, the more fun it becomes. It just keeps getting to be more fun as we go. So I'm excited for it all.
All right, you can hear the crowd getting wild. That'll wrap up our morning. Big thanks to everybody for helping us out on the live stream. Dro punching the cameras up in the van. Thanks to everybody to hop in and announcing. It's a community. It takes a village. So thank you, everyone. And we'll stay tuned to the Paramotor STOL Instagram. We will definitely be updating you folks on that for what's going on this afternoon.
Share it with your friends, right?
Yeah, share the link. The YouTube live will be up, so share that link. You can watch it after the fact and